जनरञ्जना कभी ऑडियंस ही कवर हो गई पूरी लाइफ के बाद इधर लगा सकते हैं कि जिससे ऑडियंस तो दिखती रहे तो इधर कर दीजिए साइड में कर दीजिए ऐसा से These lights are required. यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधे जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय निताय गौरांगो जय निताय गौरांगो जय प्रहलाद नरसिम्हा जय सुदर्शना जय जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नामचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद। श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी क्षेत्र की जय। गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र की जय। श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय। श्री श्री निताय गौरांग की जय। श्री श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंह देव की जय। श्री श्री सुदर्शन भगवान की जय। हरि नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. ग्रंथरा Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयं मुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, first canto 10 chapter, text number 29. Ya virya shulkena ritaha swayambare। या वीर्य शुल्केन ऋता स्वयंवरे। प्रमथ्य चैद्य प्रमुखान् हि शुष्मिनः। प्रमथ्य चैद्य प्रमुखान् शुष्मिणः। प्रद्युम्न साम्बाम्ब सुतादयो अपरा। प्रद्युम्न साम्बाम्ब सुतादयो परा। याश् चाहृता भौमवधे सहस्रशः। याश्चारिता भौमवधे सहस्रशः। या वीर्यशुल्केन ऋता स्वयंवरे। प्रमथ्य चैद्य प्रमुखानि शुष्मिणः। प्रद्युम्न साम्बाम्ब सुतादयो परा। याश्चारिता भौमवधे सहस्रशः। या वीर्यशुल्केन ता स्वयंवरे। प्रमथ्य चैद्य प्रमुखान् हि शुष्मिणः। प्रद्युम्न साम्बाम्ब सुतादयो परा। सहस्रशः। या वीर्यशुल्केन ऋता स्वयंवरे। प्रमथ्य चैद्य प्रमुखानि शुष्मिणः। प्रद्युम्न साम्बाम्ब सुतादयो परा। Yascharita bhaumavade sahasrashaha. Ya Veda Shulkena Rita Svayamvare Pramatya Chaidya Pramukhani Sushminaha Sambamba Sutadayo Para Yasharita Bhauma Vade Sahasrashaha. Ya, the lady, Virya, prowess, Shulkena, by payment of the price, Ritaha, taken away by force, Swayamvare, in the open selection of the bridegroom, Pramatya, harassing, Chaidya, King Shishupal, Pramukhan, headed by, he, positively, Shushminaha, all very powerful, Pradyumna, Pradyumna, Krishna's son, Samba, Samba, Amba, Amba, Suta Adayaha, children, Aparaha, other ladies, Yaha, those, Cha, also, Ahritaha, similarly brought, Bhauma Vadhe, after killing kings, Sahasrashaha, by the thousands. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. The children of these ladies are Pradyumna, Samba, Amba, etc. Ladies like Rukmini, Satyabhama, and Jambavati were forcibly taken away by him from their Swayamvar ceremonies after he defeated many powerful kings, headed by Shishupal, and other ladies were also forcibly taken away by him after he killed Bhaumasur and thousands of his assistants. All of these ladies are glorious. Please repeat. The children of these ladies are Pradyumna, Samba, Amba, etc. Ladies like Rukmini, Satyabhama, Jambavati were forcibly taken away by him from their Swayamvara ceremonies after he defeated many powerful kings, headed by Shishupal, and other ladies were also forcibly taken away by him after he killed Bhaumasur and thousands of his assistants. All of these ladies are glorious. Purport. Exceptionally qualified daughters of powerful kings were allowed to make a choice of their own bridegrooms in open competition, and such ceremonies were called Swayamvar, or selection of the bridegroom, because the Swayamvar was an open competition between the rival and valiant princes. Such princes were invited by the father of the princess, and usually there were regular fights between the invited princely order in a sporting spirit. But it so happened that sometimes the belligerent princes were killed in such marriage fighting, and the victorious prince was offered the trophy princess, for whom so many princes died. Rukmini, the principal queen of Lord Krishna, was the daughter of the king of Vidarbha, who wished that his qualified and beautiful daughter be given away to Lord Krishna. But her eldest brother wanted her to be given away to King Shishupal, who happened to be a cousin of Krishna. So there was open competition, and as usual, Lord Krishna emerged successful after harassing Shishupal and other princes by his unrivaled prowess. Rukmini had 10 sons like Pradyumna. There were other princes by his There were other queens also taken away by Lord Krishna in a similar way. Full description of this beautiful booty of Lord Krishna will be given in the 10th canto. There were 16,100 beautiful girls who were daughters of many kings and were forcibly stolen by Bhaumasur, who kept them captive for his carnal desire. These girls prayed piteously to Lord Krishna for their deliverance, and the merciful Lord, called by their fervent prayer, released them all by fighting and killing Bhaumasur. All these captive princesses were then accepted by Lord as his wives. Although in the estimation of society, they were all fallen girls. The all powerful Lord Krishna accepted the humble prayers of these girls and married them with the adoration of queens. So altogether, Lord Krishna had 16,108 queens at Dwarka, and in each of them he begot 10 children. All these children grew up, and each had as many children as their father. The aggregate of the family numbered 10 million. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So today is Republic Day of India. In one sense, the day when India got full independence. Even after Independence Day, people had no right to form their own laws, and the sovereignty of state also was not there because the king was still Britisher. And on this day, they had power to implement their own laws, their own constitution, and elect their own rulers, presidents, and other ministers. And it is celebrated. And people are supposed to be happy by this celebration. But then we see that people are not happy. What to speak of India? We have had a scope of 75 years to implement perfect laws. Still, people are fighting. Sometimes they tell laws are not good. They are oppressing women. Now they are telling they are oppressing men. So people are confused which law to make. And not just we, the topmost nation is also confused. There is newly elected president. Day one, he is changing the laws, trying to do something. But how much ever we try, we might change these laws or some other laws. These are man-made laws. But the laws are always there. We are always subjected to laws. And they are called the laws of karma, which nobody knows. Very, very stringent laws. And ultimately, people do not know that the troubles are because of these laws, laws of karma. You may change it, you may not change it. If law of karma is bad, bad ruler will be arranged by the laws. How much ever you may try, you make laws, another person will come. So ultimately, we are suffering because of ignorance of the laws of karma. Manufacturing or repealing other laws will have no effect. So laws of karma impose all kinds of misery. The prime miseries being birth, death, old age, and disease. So human life is meant to become actually a citizen of the absolute republic, the Republic of Krishna, where there is actually freedom and full satisfaction. And how we can attain that freedom? So that has been given in Bhagavad Gita. It is very simple. Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So here the 16,000 queens were also held captive. They lost their independence, but they engaged in avyabhicharena bhakti, unalloyed devotional service. So even though Bhaumasura was very, very powerful, he had advanced technology, advanced fencing, and so many other things. And queens had lost all hope. They were held captive. And especially in the Vedic times, if a woman stays at some other person's place, nobody will accept her hand. So they lost all hope that our future is bleak. But then, because they engaged in unalloyed devotional service, from the most unfortunate situation, they became most fortunate and glorious. So thus, avyabhicharena bhakti, mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate, unalloyed devotional service, without any deviation. If we do 24 hours, we remain engaged in such service, then immediately Brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One gets freedom. And what is this avyabhicharena bhakti? How to engage 24 hours? So Prabhupada explains it has become very, very simple. Usually when we think serving means just like we serve our bosses in the company, we have to work very hard and then they give us some salary, they are satisfied. Or just like we serve the wives, how much ever we serve, they will never be satisfied. Or vice versa. Family, you keep on serving, Prabhupada explains. Family is never satisfied. Neither the person who is serving, he is satisfied. So this service is very, very tough. But anyway, so this is what we understand by service. You go, you work very hard, and then, but then somebody was asking, Prabhu, how this chanting the name is service? It appears to be a very simple thing. Simply you chant and that is service done. Service is very difficult. You have to work hard, go out. But yes, Krishna's service is very simple. And what to speak of chanting? In chanting at least, tongue has to be vibrated. Little effort you have to put. But there is another very wonderful and advanced service in which you don't have to do anything. That is hearing. Simply keep on hearing and the service is done. So Prabhupada explains it is so simple. This is called avyabhicharena bhakti. Simply keep on hearing about Krishna. It is very, very simple. Has been made very easy. This is the purpose for which Krishna comes here. So that we can have some subject matter of hearing. If Krishna does not do any activity, what shall we hear? So thus Krishna comes here. Some princesses are kidnapped. Krishna goes, fights. And thus we hear all these pastimes and we get liberated. So it is very, very simple and we have to have faith in this process. It is an extremely powerful process. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha. Why so many people are not able to understand Krishna? Why they are not able to understand that there is God for that matter? Because of contamination of the heart. It is very simple. The heart is filled with rajas and tamas, modes of passion and modes of ignorance. So when the heart is contaminated, the right understanding will never awaken. How much ever a person may try to speculate. Person may try to read the scriptures on his own, or he may attend various conferences, or he can speak also very, very nicely, but still one will not be able to understand. Mito bhipadyeta grihavata vratanam. Adanta gobir vishatam tamisram punah charvit charvananam. Matirna Krishna parato swatova. So one cannot understand Krishna consciousness. Krishna Mati, it is not possible by hearing from others. You keep on hearing. Swatova, or you try to attain by your own endeavor. You try to read. Or mitho bhipadyeta, you go and discuss with people, attend conferences, attend discourses, discussions. Then also it is not possible. For whom? Adanta gobhe. Danta means one whose senses are controlled. Adanta means whose senses are not controlled. So one who has no control over the senses, it is not possible to understand anything about Krishna by one's own effort, by effort of somebody else, or by mutual cooperation. Adanta gobhir. So that is why controlling the senses very, very rigidly, it is very important. And as long as the heart is contaminated by rajas and tamas, one cannot control the senses. That is when Vedic culture, very strict discipline was taught, strict control of senses. Mind control, sense control. So one who is controlled, he only can understand Krishna. Adant gobir vishatam tamishram. One who cannot control, he enters the darkest region. Punah charvit charvatranam. They keep on repeating the same thing life after life. So it is contamination of the heart which leads us to material activities, and the understanding of God is not awakened. There is atheism. So the heart has to be cleansed. Heart gets cleansed by Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. By chanting and hearing about Krishna. The mirror of the heart is cleansed. Just like if the mirror is dusty, we cannot see our own reflection. So similarly, mind is called mirror. Sometimes you have perverted vision from the mirror. And sometimes if there is lot of dust, you don't see anything at all. So we perceive the world through our mind. That is why if the mind is contaminated, the whole world appears to be bad, full of misery, full of sorrow. And if the mind is blissful, then the whole world appears to be blissful. So we don't see the world directly. We see the world through our mind. That is why mind is called mirror. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. So this mirror reflects material reality, and this mirror also reflects spiritual reality. Just like in mirror, we can see sun. The form of the sun, the light of the sun, even though sun is situated elsewhere. Similarly, in our heart, we can understand all the activities of the spiritual world. So those who are engaged in unalloyed devotional service of Krishna, they are immediately situated in the spiritual world. So that is why it is explained in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Lord Brahma is describing how the four Kumaras, so His Holiness Toka Krishna Maharaj was explaining very nicely, how the four Kumaras, wandering here and there, they reached Vaikuntha Loka. And finally, they met Jai Vijay, and then there was cursing, there was some anger displayed, and then Lord Narayan came out. And all these things, who is describing? Lord Brahma, who is in this universe. So even though Brahma is in this universe, he is knowing what is happening in Vaikuntha Loka. So by this we can understand that the activities of the Vaikuntha Loka, the devotees can see in their heart. So that is why Jivan Mukta Sa Uchyate. One need not leave his body. The Bhakti Yoga is so very much powerful. Even though one is within this body, within this universe, one becomes a resident of the spiritual world. Because his consciousness is always in Vaikuntha. He can see the activities of Vaikuntha live in the heart. And thus Lord Brahma is describing. They entered here, they went through that gate, they saw this, they saw that. Lord Brahma is able to see everything which is happening. So thus our heart is called a mirror. It reflects. So the heart has to be cleansed. So it is very simple process. We simply have to keep on chanting, and chanting also might be tough. So we simply have to keep on hearing. Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. So that is why when Parikshit Maharaj asked Shukdev Goswami, please narrate the topics about Krishna. But Shukdev Goswami became very pleased, and he told, Varyane Shate Prashnaha Krito Lokahitam Nirpa. Your question is very glorious because it is the topmost subject matter of hearing for the humanity. It is told there the question itself is glorious. So Prabhupada reiterates this point in many, many other places. That what to speak of answer? Simply by hearing this question, one will become liberated. This question is so glorious. Please describe about Krishna. Because this question is also on the liberated platform. So asking right question is also not easy. Because whatever activity we are doing either under control of material nature or we are doing under control of spiritual nature. So whatever inquiries we have, they are also the result of modes that govern our heart. That is a small child. What small child will ask? Where is my toy? Where is my chocolate? So he does not have any further queries. He does not have any further. I remember when I was watching cartoons, father will tell, what you are wasting your time in nonsense things. Watch news. I told, what news I'll watch? That is nonsense for me. This is nice. What is there? Anything interesting in news? Somebody is talking something. What do I have to do about world affairs? And he was getting irritated. He's wasting time watching cartoons. So yes, the child has no inquiry beyond his cartoons. That is his world. That is his satisfaction because of mode of ignorance. So thus the queries that we have, they are also the result of the modes that we acquire. So nobody can inquire about Krishna unless he is blessed by Krishna. That is why it is told in Chaitanya Charitamrita. When Sanatana Goswami went to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu instructed him for 10 days. Where did he instruct? No. Rup Goswami was instructed in Prayagraj. He was instructed in Varanasi. Rup Goswami was instructed for 1 month, and Sanatana Goswami was instructed for 10 days in Varanasi. And when Sanatana Goswami met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then it is told very nicely in Chaitanya Charitamrita, by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Why Lord Chaitanya became merciful on Sanatana Goswami? When he saw his senses were completely controlled and seeing his renunciation, Sanatana Goswami went. He was not at all interested in dressing himself very nicely or eating very nice palatable dishes. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became unlimitedly pleased. So thus it is told, renunciation is the principle which holds the life of the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Renunciation is Vairagya Vidya Nij Bhakti Yoga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here to teach the science of renunciation. People do not know this thing. There are 6 opulences which Lord has in fullness. The opulence of beauty, the opulence of wisdom, the opulence of strength, opulence of fame. But the opulence which gives happiness is the opulence of renunciation. This people do not know. And it is most difficult to obtain. And this renunciation is such a nice opulence. One who has it, he does not care for any other opulence. This means it is the greatest opulence. So one who has this opulence, he becomes very dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here to teach people Vairagya Vidya Nij Bhakti Yoga, the science of renunciation, how to get this renunciation. People are developing various sciences to become. There is a CEO of a company who wants to remain, who wants to reverse his age, and unfortunately becomes ugly sometimes. The experiments are not very successful. Similarly, so many people, they want to always remain young. They take injections, surgeries, and whatnot. So there is science how to remain beautiful, how to enhance your beauty. Similarly, there are sciences how to become famous. Influencers use, they crack the algorithms. How to become famous. Various sciences are there, strategies are there. So like this, people have various sciences, various strategies, and various streams of knowledge, which can give them wealth, beauty, knowledge, strength. But nobody knows how to get renunciation. It is confidential. And it is this renunciation which actually makes a person happy. Without renunciation, there is no question of happiness. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here to teach people the science of renunciation, Vairagya Vidya. And it is told in Chaitanya Charitamrita, renunciation is the principle which holds the life of the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is a principle which sustains life. It is so important for us to practice renunciation. So thus Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very much pleased when he saw this behavior of Sanatana Goswami. And then it is told, seeing this behavior of Sanatana Goswami, Mahaprabhu became pleased, and by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sanatana Goswami became empowered to ask the right questions about absolute truth. And what did Sanatana Goswami ask? Ke ami, ke ne amai jare tapatroye. Who am I? Why am I suffering from threefold miseries? Unfortunately, people do not ask this question. Suppose there is any abnormality in the body, what do? We approach a doctor. I am having this pain, so much pain in arms or in brain or somewhere. Then please help me resolve it. Because nothing happens by chance. There is some abnormality, that is why pain is there. Immediately we approach a doctor. Similarly, if we are having troubles in life, we should approach a person of knowledge. Why am I suffering? That is what Sanatana Goswami asked. That why am I suffering in my life? And who am I? What is my identity? I am not man, I am not woman, I am not this body. Who am I? Who is experiencing the effects of this body? So this is what Sanatana Goswami asked. But nobody asks this question. Brahma Jigyasa, this is called. Just to bring a person to the point of inquiry about Brahma Jigyasa, the rules and regulations of Varnashrama Dharma are established. Because only a person who is on the platform of Brahmana, he can do Brahma Jigyasa. Otherwise, they will do mundane Jigyasa. How to earn bread and butter, or how to enjoy material life. Nobody inquires about Brahma Jigyasa. And unless a person does Brahma Jigyasa, it is told, Parabhavas tavad abodha jato yavanna jigyasata atma tattvam. One will keep on facing defeat in this life, Parabhava. So in this life, there is defeat. How much ever victorious you can become, ultimately, in the ultimate issue, there is always defeat because everything is taken away. The name, fame, people we have acquired, riches we have acquired, knowledge we have acquired, everything is taken away and we have to start from ground zero again. And then again we are defeated. In this way, this defeat will continue life after life. Defeat at the hands of illusion, at the hands of nature. Unless yavanna jigyasata atma tattvam. Unless one inquires about atma tattva, who am I? Unless this inquiry is there, one will keep on facing defeat. Why by inquiry one comes out of defeat? You are supposed to get answer, right? Get answer to Atma Tattva and then you will be freed. But no, it is told simply inquiry. Simply if a person inquires, one will come out of this defeat. Why? Because this defeat is simply because of sense gratification. And the task of researching the absolute truth, Prabhupada explains, is so overwhelming that there is no time for sense gratification for such a person. Even the researchers here, they get so much absorbed. Our scientist who was former president, late scientist, Honorable Dr. Abdul Kalam, could never marry. Why? So much absorbed, overwhelmed by research. So similarly, this research of absolute truth is so overwhelming that a person has no time and interest in sense gratification. And if you do not do sense gratification, there is no defeat. The defeat in life is only because of sense gratification. And another understanding is this inquiry itself is on the liberated platform. Otherwise, this inquiry does not awaken. So by following these rules and regulations nicely, one becomes inquisitive to understand about Atma Tattvam. One becomes inquisitive to understand Krishna. And the subject matter itself, Prabhupada explains, Shukdev Goswami is explaining, it is Varyaneshate Prashna. It is a topmost subject matter of hearing. Simply if we hear these questions which are asked by Arjun, which are asked by Sanatana Goswami, which are asked by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Ramanand Rai or other personalities, Suta Goswami or Shaunak Rishi, simply these questions will liberate. Thus we have to understand this very important subject matter when it comes to hearing. So usually people want to finish books. So I take one-on-one sessions for some devotees, good devotees, but everyone starts from initial stages. So when there is, I usually make them read. You read the translation, purport. And when purport is long, they tell, Panditji, can you please explain directly? So it is very long. So I explain briefly. So they think we have to finish quickly because if we finish, then knowledge will come. If I finish all the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, I read them, I have understood. No. By reading over and over again also, one will not understand unless one has taken shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, unless one's senses are controlled. And nobody's senses can be controlled without the mercy of spiritual master. Material nature does not give one relief. That is why Devahuti asked Kapil Dev, her son, that does material nature ever give relief to conditioned soul? It doesn't seem like we will ever get relief. Does material nature ever get relief? Do we ever get liberated? Is it possible? Yes, it is practically impossible. That is why Krishna tells, Mam Maya Duratyaya. It is impossible to conquer over illusion. But Mam Eve Prapadyante. One who surrenders unto me, he only can cross. So that is why the wise people completely surrender unto Krishna. Without surrendering, it is not possible to cross over illusion. It is very, very difficult. So thus this happens by the mercy of the spiritual master. When we surrender to spiritual master's grace liberates us. So that is what we have to, that is why we have to understand. It is not how much verses we have read, how many hours we have spent in reading, but it is a mercy of the spiritual master. So when we read submissively, understanding each and every word is very valuable, which is given by the spiritual master. I am associating with the spiritual master, then there is revelation. Simply reading the questions will reveal complete spiritual truth to us. That is why Prabhupada tells many times, understanding is not very important. So does it mean that a person who is illiterate, he cannot advance? No, bhakti is apratihata. Anybody can advance. And that is why we have discussed many times, the illiterate Brahmana realized Bhagavad Gita. One who was not knowing how to read and write, he realized Bhagavad Gita. Simply by trying to follow the instruction of the spiritual master. So that is why understanding is not important. So simply if one hears submissively, submissive hearing is what does the magic, which gives the result. So that is why we don't have to do anything. We don't have to worry about anything else. We should not worry about interest or lack of interest. We should simply take care of the process with great submission that spiritual master is present. Krishna is present here in the instructions personally. This is Shabda, sound incarnation of Krishna. So with this respect, with great attention, throughout the day, Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya, whenever there is chance, we should keep on hearing. And simply by hearing, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, the heart will get cleansed. And automatically we will understand. Perfect understanding of absolute truth will awaken in the heart. So that is why these ordinary looking pastimes that Krishna is coming and he is kidnapping queens, kidnap of anybody, how can it give liberation? No, these are transcendental matters. Krishna is coming, fighting with princess, fighting with bulls, kidnapping, killing, all these are transcendental pastimes. So what we have to do is nothing else. With great faith, we simply have to hear as much as possible, at least every morning and evening in the association of devotees. Just we have to give submissive and attentive hearing, and then all spiritual realization will awaken in the heart. Heart will become, so we have to have patience. Heart is the mirror. How much ever we try, we might not be able to understand. We must have patience, understand. A dusty mirror will not reflect our figure. We have to wait. Similarly, we have to wait. Prabhupada explains. Now, if I am not able to understand, it's okay. Let me engage in service. Let me engage in hearing. And then Krishna will reveal when he is pleased, when the dust is cleared from the heart. And this dust, how it is cleared? By our effort? No, Prabhupada explains this dust is cleansed by the personal action of the Supreme Lord who is there in the heart. It is personal action of Krishna. It is not any mechanical science that you put engine of this power, your vehicle will run at this speed. No. It is personal action of Krishna. Shanvatam Sakata Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtana Hridi Antasto Hi Abhadrani Vidunoti Surit Satam. Our best friend is seated in the heart. He is our well-wisher. Vidunoti Surit Satam. He removes all the darkness of the heart. He cleanses our heart personally. So when Lord Krishna sees this person is hearing about me, so that is why it is very simple. We should not worry about much details and mechanics of the process. It is a personal process. When we take interest in Krishna, Krishna becomes very pleased and he removes ignorance from the heart. We understand everything about Krishna. So when we sacrifice, when we renounce, when we take discomfort for Krishna, Krishna becomes very pleased. Oh, this devotee is taking so much pain just so that he can attain me, he can engage in my service, he can attain my love. Krishna becomes very much pleased. So thus it is a personal process. Krishna ye yatha mam prapadyante. As we surrender, so does Krishna reciprocate. So when Krishna sees this person is very sincere in trying to understand me, then Krishna removes all the darkness personally by personal action of Krishna. So that is why with great faith that Krishna is there, Krishna will help me from the heart, I should engage in simply hearing these subject matters. So hear everything. Hearing the name of demon will liberate us. What to speak of Krishna? Because the demon is also connected to Krishna. Krishna has killed this demon. So hearing the name of demon also becomes liberating activity. What to speak of normal words? So that is why each and every word which has been given by the spiritual master, it should be read. We should not skip anything which has come out of the mouth or pen of the spiritual master. And thus with great faith, read each and every word, and then there is all perfect spiritual realization. We will end here. Any questions? Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So Prabhu, you mentioned one sentence like heart is mirror, it will reflect both material as well as spiritual.
Yes, yes.
So can you elaborate this statement little more? Like what does reflecting means exactly?
Yes, we discussed reflection means just like in mirror, or you are there in car, you cannot see the vehicle behind, but with mirror you can see. And sometimes there is illusion. That is why it is told in the mirror, objects appear, objects are actually closer than they appear. So that is why we perceive the world through the mirror, and that mirror is called mind. Through eyes we don't see the world directly, we see through the mind. So that is why some people tell world is bad and they are suffering. Everything is bad. This is bad. That is bad. Everything is bad. And some people here are blissful. Who are they? Devotees. Vishwam Purnam Sukhayate. And for materialist, Dukhalayam. The whole world is full of misery. And for a devotee, whole world is full of bliss. So people tell, why Krishna is not behaving nicely with Sudama? He's keeping Sudama poor. Poor person is starving. But what Sudama is thinking? Sudama was full of bliss. He told, Krishna is so kind. Everything is in control of Krishna. He could have given me unlimited opulence immediately. But Krishna being very kind, knowing that I'll get carried away by this opulence, I'll go into Maya. He did not show me any material opulence, any material favor. So thus the poverty is giving bliss to Sudama. And the same poverty can give trouble to others. So thus we perceive the world as per our modes. The person who is in Tamoguna will always feel depressed, will always feel the whole world is bad. The person who is in Satvaguna will always feel blissful in the same world, in the same situation. So this is the meaning of reflection. We see the world as per the situation of our mind. Now if mind is conducted by Sattva, Rajas or Tamas, we will only be able to perceive this material world. And if the mind is spiritualized, then we are able to see the affairs of spiritual world in the heart.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, in the beginning of the lecture, you explained how if someone practices avyabhicharena bhakti, then one gets into most fortunate situation.
Yes.
By giving the example of Bhaumasur and how he kidnapped 16,000 girls. So Prabhu, but in that case, it appears that the 16,000 princesses, they prayed for their protection. They did not pray for pure devotional service to attain the service. So how was their praying pure devotional service? It appeared to be material protection.
Yes. So it could be taken in both the ways. So that is why it is told, Akama sarva kamova moksha kamo daridi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusha param. So one has to simply engage in Tivrena Bhakti Yogena, intense Bhakti Yoga in the service of Krishna, then a person will become pure devotee. So it could be other way, that they might not be pure devotees, they prayed to Krishna and then they became pure devotees. And it could be other way around, that Krishna, we want to serve you as your queens. So this is devotional service. So pure devotees knows what is his eternal relationship with Krishna, and he specifically wants to be engaged in that way in the service of Krishna. So that is why, what is the mood behind the prayer? That is why somebody was asking, we chant Narsima Kavach, how it is a spiritual prayer. We are asking, protect my arms, legs, head, belly, everything. So yes, protect means protect from Maya. Let my belly digest food only so that I can engage in your service. Let my arms be protected from Maya's influence so that arms only engage in your service. Let my legs be protect so that I don't use my legs for visiting places of sense gratification. So thus it depends upon the consciousness.
Prabhu, in another lecture, you were mentioning that there in a particular pastime, the king wanted to find out who is Brahmana. So he
Yes.
looked at their grocery bills.
Yes,
And
yes.
so Brahman basically are more inclined towards sweet food
Yes.
stuffs rather than spicy.
Yes.
The question here, Prabhu, is, but we also know that if we eat more of sweets, then it becomes more difficult to control the senses.
Yes.
So it looks paradox, Prabhu. If we eat sweets, then we are not able to control. We
Yes.
don't remain Brahman.
Yes. So good question. So to give the background, some of you, how many of you know this story? Grocery bill. By grocery bill, we can understand who is Brahmana. Not by Jigyasa. How many of you know? How many don't know? Oh, many don't know. Okay. So king was there, and kings are supposed to maintain Brahmanas. Because Brahmana is not supposed to do job, because he's engaged in most important job of cultivating spiritual knowledge and educating others in spiritual affairs. So they are not supposed to do job, but engage whole time in research and education. So kings are supposed to maintain, and the grastas were supposed to maintain them. So king told, okay, please call all the Brahmanas, they can stay here, we will give them best of the facilities and they can do self-realization. We will maintain them. So the courtesans asked, but how shall we judge who is Brahmana? Anybody will come here until I am a Brahmana. So king told, never mind, let them stay here. And they stayed there. And then after some time, after a month or so, he told, bring their grocery bills. And then king saw the person who was ordering more chili and spices. He told them, they are Shudras. Throw them away. And those who were ordering more sweets, he told, yeah, they are Brahmanas. So thus, the food that we eat also reflects our consciousness. So those who are tamasic, they will be addicted to intoxication, flesh, other nasty foodstuffs. Or if not that much nasty, they'll be attracted to more pungent and spicy foodstuffs. So eating more chili and these strong taste, that means tamoguna. And person who is in sattva-guna, he or she will be inclined towards eating sweets. So thus everything is very, very scientific. The choice of our food depends upon the modes that we have. Now, again we have heard that if we eat more sweets, then there is sex desire. If we eat any tasty food stuff, we will fall for sexual urges, especially the sweet preparations. So how to understand them? So it means even though one may be inclined for sweet items, one should not eat more of sweet items. So our inclinations will always be there, but then one has to regulate oneself. So that is why devotee does not care for his inclination or disinclination. Devotee simply does which is favorable for one's Krishna consciousness. So everyone will carry one's taste. All of us will have certain likings and certain dislikings. But the devotee keeps apart all his likings and dislikings. I may not like this service, but I will do if it is required for Krishna. And I may like something very much. I may like somebody very much, but I will not associate with them if they are not favorable for my Krishna consciousness. I will not engage in that activity. I will not engage in that food if that creates a hurdle in my Krishna consciousness.
Hare Krishna,
Somebody-
Prabhu.
Yes.
One doubt. You said illiterate can also advance in bhakti if they just and they follow the directions of their spiritual master.
Yes.
Then you said association and this guidance from spiritual master both are important. Why association part? you can be associated with the spiritual master, follow his guidelines. Why association of devotees part comes in?
You can be associating directly with the spiritual master. So you are asking why we have to associate with devotees.
Why both? What's the significance of the other part? Association of devotees and the spiritual master is obviously needed.
So because we are anyway always associating with somebody. If we don't associate with devotees, we will associate with non-devotees. As simple as that. We have to marry somebody. If we don't marry devotee, we'll marry non-devotee. We have to eat some food. If we don't eat prasadam, we will eat bhoga. We have to hear some sound. If we don't hear spiritual sound, we are hearing material sound. So every moment we are associating. So if we don't associate with devotees, we are associating with non-devotees. So that is why association with devotees is important.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, what should be our perspective while reading and hearing? That I am associating with the words of my spiritual master and the words of Lord Krishna, or I am reading or doing hearing to get some knowledge to control my mind and senses.
Both are required. So one is very submissive and attentive hearing, that I am associating, and then they are trying to convey some meaning. So that is why one should try to understand what spiritual master Krishna are trying to explain. That is why it is called pariprashnena sevaya. Such inquisitiveness is very much appreciated by the spiritual master. So one should be very, very inquisitive what spiritual master is trying to explain. But still, despite best efforts, if we are not able to understand, we should be patient and keep on reading and hearing over and over again, or give time and come back to it after some time. Is somebody from here? Raise a hand. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, we discussed about mercy of spiritual master, and also, as you said, nothing happens by chance. So, I was reading something, and here it's from Bhagavatam 10th canto 51, chapter 54 verse. And Muchukunda is saying, so Prabhupada is translating in this way: My dear Lord, by traveling in this material world...
We should not discuss that, because that is not translated by Prabhupada exactly. So we cannot.
Okay.
So up till 13, 14 chapter, till that place we can.
Okay. But in teachings of Lord Chaitanya,
Yeah.
this is coming.
Yeah.
So here Prabhupada is saying, my dear Lord, while traveling in the material world through different species of life, a living entity may progress towards liberation. But if by chance he comes in contact with a pure devotee, he becomes actually liberated from the clutches of material energy and becomes a devotee of yourself, the personality of Godhead.
Yes.
So how this word by chance is used here, and coming in contact with a pure devotee, is it really by chance, or it's because of Sukriti?
It can happen for both reasons. So in material world, as per the laws of nature, everything happens. In spiritual world, it is completely free. That is why it is called causeless. There is no cause for it. So there it happens by chance. But if we engage, more chances are created by the mercy of Krishna. But anyway, in spiritual world, there is no direct cause and effect. It is always a personal. Here it is cause and effect. There are laws. You do this much punya, this is the result. You do this yajna, this is the result. This much charity you do, proportion is given. 10% will come back, 50% will come back, or 10 times will come back. So this is given. So there are very fine laws here. But in spiritual world, it is free. That is the absolute nature of reality.
This uses this phrase by chance in Prabhupada.
So that is why
like
it is by chance, yes. Because it is causeless. We cannot do anything. Even by our sincere efforts, the results may not be proportionate in that proportion. Or with little effort or without any effort, that is called Kripa Siddhi. Jagai Madai did not desire to make spiritual advancement, but they were made pure devotees. They did not attempt at all. So this is called spiritual world. But at the same time, we understand, if we act, ye thamam prapadyante, Krishna will reciprocate. But when and how much he will reciprocate, that we do not know.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhannath. So, Prabhu, what is the difference between both works?
Spiritual mind always thinks about Krishna, material mind thinks of sense gratification.
Means same mind is there, but it is
It is
contaminated.
spiritualized, yes. Online, do we have?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, what is the difference among when we say heart is contaminated, consciousness is contaminated, or mind is full of dust? And similar question, you mentioned that cleaning the mind, then cleaning the heart, Chaitadarpana example, which refers to cleaning of heart. So is it cleaning of heart or mind or both?
Both, because we think mind is sometimes here in brain, but no, mind is here, soul is also here. So heart is the seat of soul, and soul is covered by mind, intelligence, and false ego. So that is why it is told sometimes cleansing the heart means cleansing the mind, because they are situated in the same location.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, you spoke about 24 hours engaged in service of Krishna. Then Krishna personally saves the devotee. How it can be practiced by those who are not fully dedicated, like outsiders?
So anybody can practice. Dedication is not required. Dedication will come by 24 hours engagement. So first we have to engage in the service of Krishna. Then Krishna tells, Mam ichhaptum dhananjaya. You will get desire to attain me. This desire will come when we engage. So it is very easy. We are fully dedicated or not. We can always keep on hearing as much as possible. We can keep on chanting as much as possible. And by doing this, we will be able to dedicate ourselves. So chanting, hearing, anybody can do. And we are not serving Krishna full time. We are doing some service outside. The result of that activity can always be offered to Krishna. In this way, we can make advancement.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, what is the difference between sadhana and service? Is chanting and hearing sadhana or service?
Everything is sadhana. Sadhana is called practice in one sense. So service is also sadhana. But sometimes when we speak sadhana different and service different. So by sadhana we mean chanting and hearing. And by service we mean practical devotional service. Engaging your senses in practical activity in the service of Krishna. Otherwise everything is sadhana, means we don't have spontaneous love for Krishna. Spontaneously we don't want to act in service of Krishna. But we are practicing Krishna service. So in that sense everything is sadhana in conditioned state.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, the activities we are doing in temple or folk services have great result as per the Puranas or nectar
As
of
per
devotion. As per the Puranas or nectar of devotion.
Okay.
Then why don't we feel advancement? Where are the fruits of our activities are going?
Why we don't feel advancement despite living in folk residency and doing this thing. So that is why Prabhupada mentions if the heart is not clean, even stay in Vrindavan will be incongenial. So one has to know how to actually live in folk residency or in the association of devotees. So one has access to the spiritual dham only in the mood of service. Without service, there is no dham. That is why it is told, nobody can purchase a ticket to Vrindavan. I purchase, okay, we have to go back to Vrindavan, back to Godhead. Oh, I'll take a ticket. What is the need of Bhakti Yoga? No. Simply by purchasing a ticket, one may remain superficially in the land which appears to be like Vrindavan, but will have no access to Vrindavan. So spiritual world, in spiritual reality, personalities can be approached only in service spirit. Das, das, dasanu, dasa. So only when we want to serve Krishna, Krishna will manifest himself. Only when we want to serve Dham, Dham will manifest himself. So if we are living in folk residency in the mood of rendering service, then we will be in bliss and will make tremendous advancement. And if there is sense gratification, then wherever we go, we will feel we are in the material world.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Manda is the quality of a Kali.
Pardon?
Manda.
Manda
is a quality of a Kali. Now people are consuming a lot of multimedia content and it is absolutely captivating. At the same time, reading has become an old habit. Then how do we encourage reading?
So that is why it is told, Yajna Sankirtana Prayar. We have to do Sankirtan. Sankirtan means coming together with many devotees. Thus Prabhupada tells, one who is not in the association of devotees and is thinking of making spiritual advancement, he is living in hallucination, for that is not possible. So in association, when everyone sits together to read, we are reading very nicely. So I was talking to one of my relatives who served in defense. And then when we told we wake up 3:30 every day, and for so many years, he told, it is so tough. So even for a soldier, it is so tough to wake up 3:30 every day. So how is it possible? But for us, it is very simple, very easy. For so many years, we have been doing, and we keep on doing. Why? This is the power of association. Something which outsiders dream of doing. Okay, on Janmashtami, let me wake up early, or let me do something. People tell. On special days, once in a year, let me wake up in Brahmurta. Or those who are very expert, they are tell, okay, in Kartik entire month, I'll wake up before sunrise, at least for this month. But devotees, for many, many years, they have not missed a single day waking up. Why? This is the power of association. They have not missed Manglarti, they have not missed chanting, not missed. This is the power of association. So thus, with association, it becomes very easy. And without association, it is hallucination. Satam prasangan mam virya samvido. There is no taste in Krishna Katha without association. And if there is no taste, we cannot continue. So Krishna Katha becomes relishable only in the association of devotees. So it becomes relishable in the association. It becomes mature. Prabhupada explains devotional service becomes mature in the association of devotees, and automatic discipline follows in the association of devotees. So thus, please try to have association. In association, you are using cell phone. Somebody will ask, why you are using this, Prabhu? You are going in Maya. Don't do this. So, but if nobody is around, or some materialist is there, he will, oh, see this, very nice. Watch this. So that is why we have to live in association of devotees. So if it is not possible to live immediately, we can have virtual association. That is why we have daily groups which read online. So I request you can contact us on the email, or if you have any contact number, and you can join any of the virtual online reading groups. And that will assure our reading goes on regularly. And please be away from these online devices and online Krishna consciousness. It is very, very dangerous. Unless for preaching also set a timer, respond to some people, to emails, to inboxes, just for preaching. Update some reels content and then come out in few minutes, not more than that. So I also try to check my, even though I post regularly the content, I check twice while posting, and once I evaluate the performance. And for few minutes, not much. I will not keep on replying always. Once in a day, I'll reply to the comments. Once in a day, I'll reply to the emails. Otherwise, we'll get carried away. It is very, very dangerous. So online Krishna consciousness, it is for preaching, but for education, let us first stick to our good quality 16 rounds, good quality 1 hour reading, morning and evening hearing of Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and then if there is time, preach to others. And if there is any more time left, you can use your phone. There won't be any time after this. So it is addiction. It is designed in a way to addict, to get us addicted. And if we are having any kind of addiction, our senses are not controlled, we cannot advance in Krishna consciousness. We'll go into lower modes, frustration, depression, and all other things. So these are the greatest addictions. So please be away from all these devices as much as possible.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, you mentioned that some of the chapters or cantos are not translated by Prabhupada.
Yeah.
So one should read that canto or not. Also, please specify till which canto, chapter, or verse did Prabhupada actually translate Bhagavatam?
Prabhupada has translated till 10th canto, chapter number 13 or 14. Exact verse number I don't remember. You can Google it. ChatGPT will tell. And we should read till that point. And after that, if we are very inquisitive, we can read. But I have not read.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, the mind gets overwhelmed when we have to interact with contaminated souls, and as contaminated souls are increasing, is staying at home away from such souls escapism or lack of tolerance and accommodation?
Please repeat the question.
The mind gets overwhelmed as we have to interact with contaminated souls, and contaminated souls are increasing in number now.
Okay.
So staying at home away from such souls is called escapism or lack of tolerance or accommodation?
It is lack of strength and escapism also, but this escapism is good. So, the devotee asked Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, some people accuse us that we don't mix with them. We stay aloof. So Prabhupada told, you tell them, yes, we don't want to mix with rascals. Then Prabhupada, they accuse us of escapism. So Prabhupada told, yes, we have to escape from fire. That is intelligence. No, I'm bold, I'll jump into fire. That is foolishness. So yes, you are having COVID, I'll escape from you. I don't want to get COVID infected. So thus escaping from materially contaminated people is very good. But if we are associating with them for preaching them, educating them in Krishna consciousness, then we will not be contaminated by them. Rather, we will transfer our Krishna consciousness to them. So we don't enjoy their company, but we should try to meet as many materialists as possible to preach them Krishna consciousness. Okay. So we'll finish here. Okay, last question.
Last question.
Yes.
Coming back to the example of 16,000 wives.
Yeah.
So they were fed up of Bhaumasur, so they asked ki, Krishna, you liberate us. Hai na? How is that different from a poor guy asking for bread, or basically a Karam Kandi asking for some material enjoyment? So they are like, they have a life of misery, hai na,
Yeah.
and they want relief from that, so they're asking for that relief.
Yes.
So basically I'm asking the boundary of where Karam Kand ends. The first question, does this count as Karam Kand, those 16,000 wives that they did? And where does Bhakti starts and Karam Kand ends?
Yeah, that is what we discussed. Whether anything is Karma Kand, Gyan Kand or Upasana Kand, it depends upon one's consciousness. Externally, the activities of Karma Kandiya, Gyan Kandiya, Upasana Kandiya will be same. A Karma Kandiya, he will also sing bhajans of Krishna or anything else, but he wants some material results out of it. That is why we have Satyanarayan Katha and so many other things. And they will remember Krishna, but they don't want to serve Krishna. Just like Shukracharya, he was doing Karma Kand. So when Bali Maharaj got to know that Vishnu has come, and Shukracharya is denying, oh, he will take away everything. He told, in Yajna we offer anyway everything to Vishnu. Now he has come to us, now you are denying. What kind of spiritual master you are? No. Because he wanted to get something out of serving Krishna. This is called Karma Kand. What is Gyan Kand? A person following Gyan Kand will also worship Krishna like this. They will also sing bhajans. They will also do deity worship. But what is the mood? The mood is impersonal liberation. That is called Gyan Kand. And what is a devotee? Devotee will also do same thing. But his mood is to serve Krishna. So that is why it depends upon consciousness. So by external activities, one cannot understand. So that is what we discussed. They are situated on their constitutional position. So that is why they want to engage in service of Krishna as their wives. So desiring Krishna as their husband is not any fruitive activity, but it is pure devotional service. But if any woman wants Krishna as a fruitive activity also, I want to have Krishna as my husband, still she will get purified. Like the example is that of Kubja. Kubja wanted to do sense gratification. Kubja was a prostitute. She wanted to do sense gratification with Krishna. But simply by touch of Krishna, she became purified.
So, does this happen ki, suppose those people, those 16,000 wives were freed, and then they were freed because of mercy of Krishna, and then they engage in daily lives. Suppose
Daily lives.
their daily life, they go about their daily life. Suppose a poor guy gets their bread,
Yes.
and then they forget Krishna. That's all they want.
That is what generally people do, most of them. They come to temple and then forget God.
That is not.
But that is better than not going to temple. At
Sure,
least
but-
sometimes they are coming, asking for their bread.
But that's still not Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is eternally in service of remembering.
That is not pure bhakti.
pure Bhakti. Sure.
That is bhakti, that is called Sakam Bhakti. That is not Nishkam Bhakti. We'll finish here. Grantra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.